Interest rates make another jump, and demand in the heat of summer starts to cool off. Let's talk about that and more in this week's segment of Market Watch. Hi there, Joshua Barks here, Associate Broker with Keller Williams Realty Boise and Team Lead of the Barks & Co. Real Estate Team. Thank you for tuning into this week's segment of Market Watch. Last week we covered the market dynamics for the entire month of July, and this week is just our mini update talking about our week-over-week numbers. So last week, the deep dive, that'll be in the description below if you want to check that out. And then this week, let's just get into it. First off, inventory, we have more than 1,700 available homes in Ada County. Again, first time since what we saw in the summer of 2015. So keeping with those 2015 trends there, 1,714 available homes in Ada County right now. Last week we had just over 1,650 with 1,657. Average days on market for everything in MLS right now is 41 days. We had 205 new listings come to market this week, which is actually down from last week when we had 224 and down from the week prior to that as well, but still over that 200 number. Things are lining up with kind of what we typically see this time of year, so it'll be really interesting how the rest of the year plays out. Pending sales, on the other hand, we have 546 homes pending in Ada County right now, which is down from last week's 567. We had 126 homes go under contract this week, which is down slightly from last week's 135. Average days on market for everything that's pending is 28 days. So we are seeing those days on market rise as expected when you have more inventory coming up and demand really stabilizing and cooling off. We are seeing that demand kind of dip a little bit. This time of year, people are focused on back to school endeavors because that's here in a couple weeks, and likely that's going to continue to be the case as inventory will likely continue to rise a bit and demand will continue to cool off a bit because that's what we normally see right around this time of year. Our highest inventory, and then we pick up a little bit in the fall when inventory starts to come down and demand starts to rise as folks are settled into school, but that's usually not until after Labor Day, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. Number of home sales, those stayed pretty consistent week over week. We had 128 homes closed this week. Last week we had 133. Interest rates, they actually jumped up again. We went down almost 1/3 of a percentage point in a week last week. This week we're up 1/4%. So basically back where we started with just under 5.25 for the average 30-year fixed according to Freddie Mac and their reporting. Interest rates are set to continue to rise, though they've been very volatile the last several weeks, so it'll be very interesting to see what happens. But the reports are indicating that rates are likely going to be on the rise throughout the rest of the year, as they kind of have been through summer and late spring. Well, that's pretty much what I have for you this week. Pretty straightforward. We have more inventory, a little bit less demand than what we've been experiencing, and sales are staying pretty consistent. With that, I do anticipate prices will see even more softening than they've seen already. And if inventory continues to rise and demand continues to taper off, we will start to see prices come down across the board. Right now, we're still technically appreciating month over month and especially year to date, but it'll be very interesting to see that rate of appreciation that we know is slowing, where that'll end up by the end of the year. And it looks like, like I said, if inventory continues to rise while demand comes down, that rate of appreciation may start to turn into depreciation, not for the whole year, but on a month over month basis. I highly doubt by the end of the year we'll be at a negative appreciation for the year. Because like I said, prices are still appreciating, the average sales price is still increasing, but at a very, very minute pace, which is a stark contrast to the 35% we saw last year, because this year we are only up, I think, 5.6%, something like that for Ada County. So that's what we have for you this week. If you have any questions or want me to cover any other information or anything like that, please do reach out. I love to see your comments below. And if there's anything I can be doing for you or your family to help you make good real estate decisions, that's what I'm here for. My number is 208-914-1095, and I'll see you next week for Market Watch. Thanks so much.